Hello, Mrs. Robitelli here. Part 2 of how to do the mystery quiz. I took the story from Twists. It's my suspense story, and it's called The Man and the Snake. Okay, it took me about 15 minutes, so I'm going to just explain to you how I answered the questions. The book title, so follow along with your paper. The book title, number 1, The Man and the Snake. 2, the author, Ambrose Bierce or Bryce. 3, who is the primary character? Harold Brayton. Question 4, who were the secondary characters that contributed to the plot of the story? In this case, it was Dr. Druring, his wife, and another house guest. Question 5, what is the primary mystery, or what was not known? The mystery was what was under the bed that kept staring at Brayton. Question 6, where does the mystery take place? Well, in this story, it was at Dr. Druring's house, in the guest bedroom specifically. What were elements in the setting that contributed to the suspense of the story? So setting is where it took place. Dr. Druring was a scientist who studied reptiles and who had snakes in his snakery in his home. So it was in the setting of the home, but the important key was that there was a snakery in there. 8, describe one thing that caused suspicion to occur. Like, where did the mystery start? The book that Brayton read at bedtime said that snakes could mesmerize, then kill their prey. That was the first suspicious remark in the story. 9, describe another thing that caused suspicion, the second thing. There were 2 points of light about an inch apart under the bed that he saw as he was reading the book. And then number 10, describe the third thing that caused suspicion to occur. Brayton saw what looked like snake coils under the bed. So those were the 3 things that were suspicious. Now, question 11, 12, and 13 have to match up with question 8, 9, and 10. Question 11 says, how was the first suspicion revealed? So we have to go to the first suspicion, which was 8. The book, that was the first suspicion. So the conversation between Dr. Druring and his wife about Ophiophagus and how a snake can't mesmerize its prey, that's how that was revealed. So that was a connection there. So 12 has to match up with 9. So 9 was the 2 points of light. So 12, how was the second suspicion revealed? Dr. Druring found the snake under the bed. Then question 13 has to match up with question 10. Question 13 says, how was the third suspicion revealed? When Dr. Druring flung the snake from under the bed, they saw that it was a stuffed snake. And the suspicion was that it looked like coils under the bed, and they found out that once it was thrown from under the bed, then they knew it was a stuffed snake. Okay, 14. Briefly explain how the main character in the book dealt with the suspense. So Brayton was so scared, he froze. He couldn't move his feet, couldn't move his left foot, couldn't move his right foot. He ended up falling. And he was scared to death. 15. What would you have done differently if you were the main character? Well, so I'm thinking, I'm the main character, I'm in this house, and, I know the guys that take care of snakes and stuff. I would have run out of the room as soon as I saw the glowing eyes. Definitely. I would have assumed it was a snake and would have just left. Okay, at least I think that's what I would have done. 16. Explain why you would have done that differently. I am not afraid to look stupid. Brayton said, oh, well, I don't want to look like I'm a coward. I don't care. I'll look like I'm a coward. I'll look like I'm stupid. If it means I'm going to get bit by a snake, I'd rather look like a coward than get bitten by a snake. So 17. At what point did you know the solution? I didn't know the solution till the end when it said at the last line it was a stuffed snake. So I wrote that down. Okay, 18. What clue gave it away? Now, here's what's interesting. I actually kind of had a thought ahead of time. When Brayton fell, the snake did not move. That would not happen if the snake was really alive, because if he fell, the snake would have slithered, and because snakes react like that. So, 19. What did you find interesting about this mystery? What I thought was most interesting was that the old science books made claims that we now know are false, and that's kind of interesting to see how people thought science was, what it was, and how we know it's different now. So, 20, why did you choose to read this particular mystery? So I looked in the stories that were in Twists, and I wanted to do a short story so I could demonstrate this for you guys. And because I grew up with snakes in the hills of Tennessee, and I encountered snakes and I skinned snakes, and so I was interested. So when I looked at the list, and this is sort of what you all did when you went to the media center and you selected your mystery book or your suspense book, you looked at a few things, and so I had a list of short stories that I could select from, and when I saw the word snake, wherever it is, now I can't find it on the list, but anyway, when I found the word snake, I thought, that's interesting. I'm kind of curious about snakes. Don't particularly care for them, but they're kind of interesting and they're suspenseful. So that's the mystery quiz, and it took about 15 minutes for me to answer it. And you can see that I'm not writing in complete sentences, which is perfectly fine. Just make sure that you write neatly so that I can read it. And please make sure on your mystery quiz that you put your name, the date, and what period you have in my class, so that I can make sure that if the papers get mixed up, I know where to put it in the file. Okay, so that's it, and you've got about 15 or 20 minutes, and you can get your quiz done. Get started.